Hey everyone, thanks for tuning back into MattSteinwede.com. Today I'm with Kent Lardner. Hello mate.
Hi Matt, how are you?
Very good. So you're from Pricefinder.
Yes.
What the heck is Pricefinder?
We're a property data subscription company, like many others, but we've got a few key points of difference. We're a state-based subscription service for agents. We offer a few different tools. One of those is a Pricefinder estimates tool, so you can effectively or automatically pull up matching comparable sales for a given property, and then interact with the system to fine-tune a price estimate. So that can be a very handy tool where you've got unrealistic vendors and setting...
Do they exist?
Well, some do. So yeah, so it's a very handy tool in that process of setting realistic listing prices. We've got a few other unique things like a share tool that you can prospect with, so we can cover that today as well.
That'd be great. So you're like a competitor for RP data?
Yes, yes.
And APM and all that sort of stuff?
Correct.
You're big in WA, I hear? Yeah,
strong in WA with our affiliation with REWA.
Yeah.
So the Real Estate Institute of WA have taken on our technology, and it's been a fantastic relationship for us, and we've ended up with a very solid market share and presence in WA. And equally in Queensland, we've got a very strong market share in Queensland, and as of this year we've got a much stronger focus on New South Wales.
Fantastic. I hear you're hooking up with Complete Data.
Yes, a very exciting thing. We've been very interested in the CRM space at a property level and the concept of a service area for some time. So what we're looking to do is expand and have a complete data version of Pricefinder where the data would be fully integrated.
So it'll be, so let's say someone buys Complete Data, yours will already be in the back end for service area, is that right?
Yes, exactly right. So if somebody wants the Pricefinder version, it effectively means they can have the same user interface as the Complete Data system, but they can have a Pricefinder version that has the service area entirely populated for them.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's a big plus. And I know how fussy Lee is, so if he's chosen you to put in your company to be in Complete Data, it's a big tick in the box.
Yeah, there's a few other things we're rather excited about, and some of the initiatives that Lee's working on, especially around prospecting. Obviously it's close to our heart, and some of the things that we're building into our system and service. So obviously within the prospecting side of it, we'll be working together with Lee and looking at best ways for agents to exploit our share tool, which is the ability to share access with property owners or prospects.
Can you explain that quickly?
Yeah, so in simple terms, we've stripped down a version that enables a consumer or a landlord to look at sales, to do Pricefinder estimates anywhere in Australia. So it's a stripped down version that, for example, doesn't have ownership records. A real estate agent can simply capture a name and an email address, hit send, and that would share the access via an email directly to the recipient.
So if someone rings up in Terrigal and says, hey, I'm just interested in what's going on around me, the agent can get their email, name, and shoot out a report to the people.
Straight out to them.
Defined by price? Or defined by
it's open access
or whatever?
So effectively, all they do is they receive an email, they hit a link, and they've got a map of Australia. They can effectively go and research any area, any property in Australia.
Right.
So it's a rather powerful tool. If you think about it, you could service your landlords. They can receive the link and price up their own properties there, or they could do a rent review if they wanted to, because it does a rent estimate as well. Yeah,
that's good. That's very handy.
It's a big thing for us because you can obviously then do a real-time yield calculation. Yeah, so it's handy there. So you can service your rent roll, or you can service prospects, and we've got a number of case studies starting to emerge now that are pretty exciting for us. One particular agent in a suburb at Bankstown got local newspaper coverage around what he was doing around the Pricefinder share system, so effectively invited people in to say, if you're interested in knowing the price of your property, contact me and I'll give you free access. And he got a lot of local publicity that's, you really money couldn't buy.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So when people subscribe to your site or facility, then they get state access, do they?
They get full state access. So obviously,
rather than area.
Yeah, the market. Traditionally the market's been defined by a region. Yeah. Certainly in Victoria that remains the case because of the government restrictions on the cost, and it's effectively priced per postcode or per LGA there. So that's the case in Victoria, but across the rest of the country we simply offer it on a state by state basis.
Fantastic. What other facilities are on there? There's share facility.
Yes.
Pricefinder estimate, which is like a CMA.
Yeah. So obviously you've got the CMA. We've got a normal CMA. It's a 5-step, very nice, easy process to produce a CMA. But we've also got the price finder estimates. What we're finding now is for those customers who start to get used to that price finder estimates tool, it's outnumbering the CMA's 4 to 1. So it's becoming quite the norm in a lot of our and a lot of the offices that we deal with. The price finder estimates tool, you locate a property, just identify the attributes, bed, bath, parking, and hit go. And what that does is automatically find 6 matching properties.
We've got one up here, but I don't think you can really see it. I might just scroll in for a second.
Sure.
And see if we can give them an idea of how it looks and feels, because it is quite... Yeah, so it's set out really nicely. And on your right-hand side is the good and better.
Here's our property. It's in Terrigal. It's sold for $480,000. The price finder estimate automatically has come up with around $491,000, just over $490,000. What we've got presented here are some sliders that allow us to compare each of the properties to the subject. So for example, our first property here, we'd look at the photos, we're familiar with it because we've been across all the listings in the local market, and we know that one's slightly better. And by moving that slider, you can see how the price has been adjusted over here. So that's really the heart of the system, where we're making those adjustments based on the quality differences between these properties. As we go down the list, we can also then find any properties that might be slightly better or slightly worse, and you can see that process and how that can obviously influence the final price. So by picking some of those properties that might be slightly better, we can see we actually agree in this case that the sale price was on the money. So equally, you can do that same process for rental properties, and then view those sales on a map, and again you can pull up those properties. You can remove and replace a property as well. So by clicking remove and replace, if you're not happy with one of those 6 automatically generated comparables, you can hit remove and replace, and it'll simply add another one into the mix. So that's the price finder estimates tool.
It sort of changes the price based on logic and emotion.
Yeah, so the system automatically accounts for anything that's size based. So in terms of lot size, it's automatically adjusted a square metre rate for that. Same for bed, bath, parking. So in this case, we've got all 4 bedroom, 2 bathroom properties. We've got, there's 3 bedder in there, for example. The subject property is 4, 2 and 2. It's already accounted for all that. So we're not making any adjustment via the sliders on anything that's size based. We're just looking at photos, and we're saying, is the construction and street appeal, or are there views, are those picture based differences between it and the subject property. So making an assessment on what the human eye can see, which is something obviously the computer can't handle.
So it's not as clinical. So it really brings the owner in on the process, doesn't it?
It does. That's what we found as a big difference. So if you've got a vendor who's got their head in the clouds, or you're up against an agent who may be overbidding the price just to get the listing, it gives you an objective tool to say, look, it's not me telling you the property's only worth 80% of what your expectation is. Let's sit down together and let's work through this system, obligation free, and we can sit down, we'll work through, and you tell me whether it's better or worse than your property. And then it gives them a price, and it's not me telling them that price, it's the price finder estimates tool.
Because I think this worse and better tool here, it allows them to sort of go, well, yeah, I think it's a bit better than that. It's not, you're not telling them.
Exactly.
They're sort of almost sliding the rule across themselves.
And they can see how it works. You can see why and how that you've derived a price. And they can see where the property is laid out. So you go onto a map tab and they can see that there's a spread of properties around it, etc. If there's something in there that they don't like, there's a remove or replace, and you can go and get the next property in the queue. But again, what it's doing is objectively going and finding comparable sales.
Right, so you're not pulling them out.
You're not pulling them out, you're not cherry picking.
Yeah, so why would someone subscribe to yours as opposed to RP Data? I know you've shared a couple of things, but if there was 1 or 2 reasons, I mean, the state thing is brilliant in my eyes. Like my wife just emailed me today about a property somewhere, and to have that facility in terms of state ability is massive.
Yeah.
Why else do you think?
I think there's a couple of standards. The price finder estimates tool is a big reason why people are using it. We've introduced the share functionality, which is the prospecting tool that's brand new. I think that's quickly becoming the #1 reason why people are using it. And the story we've got is, hey, I've won 2 listings out of this within 2 weeks of promoting it.
Fantastic.
And we're hearing those stories over and over again. And why that makes it easy for us to sell is, well, you know, what's the value of the listing?
Yeah.
So it certainly compensates for any investment in the subscription.
And it looks like you've almost dumbed it down, like you made it very easy to look at and very user friendly.
It was designed by an agent. The user interface is designed by an agent.
Right.
Somebody like me is hopeless at designing UI, so we actually make sure that, you know, the true propeller heads in the company don't get a hand in designing the UI. We've got some specialists in the company that do that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I find when things are really simple like that, you tend to gravitate towards them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's awesome. Where do people find you?
Yeah, go to pricefinder.com.au.
Yeah.
We've got a free trial on that as well, so people can get in there and have a look. We also do webinars, which has just been a very handy tool
on that side as well.
Yeah, so you can register for a webinar.
Mm-hmm.
You can also, there's a whole series of videos, so everything that we've covered off is available on the website as well, so you can look at specific functions as videos as well.
A tool definitely worth exploring, and you know, if Lee's sourced you and teamed up with you, really, hasn't he? He's sort of gone into a bit of a team partnership type structure with Complete Data, and I know how Complete Data is his baby, and it's a brilliant database. So I would say that brings a lot of credibility in itself.
Yeah, we're very excited about that opportunity.
Definitely, and I hope it goes really well, which I'm sure it will.
Thanks very much, mate.
All right, guys, thanks very much for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next video.
Thank you.